We have this one's fun. Dolphins at Packers. Packers are 3-point favorites at home. And I even looked up the weather for this game because it matters based on one of the teams. The weather forecast in Green Bay on Thursday night, 28 degrees at kickoff and a chance of snow showers. So speaking of when you hear 28 degrees at kickoff and possible snow showers, let's talk about the Dolphins offense going against this Packers defense. Because, what are your thoughts on that? Especially if they have to go in a little bit of cold weather against this Packers defense.
Because I wanted to just keep coming back to because they've been so pertinent every week. I feel like the hashtag since Tua came back stats, because they're are good. Right. They're really good. They're averaging 3 points per drive. They're third in EPA per offensive play, first in EPA per dropback, second in success rate, first in success rate on dropbacks. They're a top 2 third down team. They're first and third in long conversion, first and fourth down conversion. I mean, they have just been bullying people basically in every aspect except for like consistently running the ball. They've been just about elite as you could be since Tua got back. But I did not fly to Kansas City and watch them and myself freeze their asses off in negative 30-degree temperatures to have any faith that they'll do it again in the cold. And I kind of don't get this to a degree, because not all of these guys are from Florida that are
here we go. Dolphins. Southern guy getting defensive.
No, I'm not getting defensive because I played football in Maryland and Pennsylvania too.
That's true. That's true. Yeah,
so I kind of don't get like why they go like, it's going to be cold when you go to Lambeau in November, and you know what cold feels like for the vast majority of these. I kind of just don't get why they lose their minds and forget how to play football. But it's a thing at this point. And I almost wonder if it's a thing sometimes, and this is just getting into like psyche stuff, because like they just don't have like the normal bravado, toughness, masculinity stuff that other football teams have. It's more like, yeah, we're going to outgame you and we're going to be quicker and faster than you. But then sometimes someone just punches you in the mouth and you need to have a recourse for that. And they don't always do that. And I think what is a little concerning about this game is the only flaw since Tua got back really is that they haven't run the ball all that efficiently. I think Achane still has moments where he can get something done for you. And overall, he's still one of the better backs in the league, but that's still an area that's lacking. Now, against the Packers defense, like they're gettable in terms of like explosive plays and stuff like that. But again, as we saw this past weekend, they are like the ultimate bend, don't break defense, where you can probably just get down the field on them, and then all of a sudden Xavier McKinney is making his 100th turnover of the game, and you're looking back and you're like, damn, we averaged like 5 yards of play and we scored 7 points. And that is where the Packers defense can be frustrating to play against. It really does just come back to, can you get it done in an area of the calendar, of the year, of the country where you haven't been able to do it yet? Because when I start comparing just like the football aspect of it, I would say, shoot, I think the Dolphins could score 30 points on Thanksgiving, but they never do when it gets down to this part of the season.
It becomes like Tua, especially when coming back, like he's as accurate as ever. He's got some of the timing throws over the middle, was what like teams like the Bills did last year in the regular season, but then the Chiefs in the playoffs, they said, all right, push it outside the numbers. All right, do it again. All right, do it again. They just packed the paint over the middle, and they're like, all right, try and push everything. And they were just daring him to do that. But it's kind of easier said than done, first off. Second off is the Packers like to be in a lot of single high. Last week against the 49ers, they were in cover 3 40% of the time. 49ers offense and the Dolphins offense have some similarities. So I'm curious if they lean into the same thing. The other thing, too, is now the Dolphins, and something Matt and I have been kind of talking, we won't shut up about this guy, Jonnu Smith with the Dolphins, is that he's a great answer for what the Packers want to do on defense and some of their weaknesses, linebacker coverage, stuff over the middle, stuff over the flats too, because that's just a good answer against single high. And the other thing is the Packers, as their changeup, will do some cover 6, cover 2, which is good against these Shanahan offenses for outside runs, because then the corner gets involved. And Jonnu Smith is good against that too. Tight ends are good against cover 2, cover 6 looks. So hint, hint. I think it's another Jonnu Smith game. But then it's going to come down to Packers tackling, all that type of stuff. And I actually thought the Packers were doing some interesting stuff against the 49ers. Like they're changing up their fronts. They're walking their linebackers down. And the 49ers in the second half, what they started to do, and until the game got out of hand, they tried to do a lot of like split zone stuff and crossing the tight end. So I'm curious. It's good film for the Dolphins, coaches. They'll probably just go, all right, we could just do this if they try to do that. We do this if they try to do that. But yeah, it's a good barometer test for the Dolphins to just kind of go like, all right, it's like a frozen monkey on their back. Can we get this off? Like, get this, like, we can't win in the tundra. We can't win in the cold because that's going to become a thing until you show that you can beat that. So this is a great chance for them. They have answers, I think, natural answers to find on offense. And I think the Packers defense isn't bad. They do some really cool blitz look stuff, but they're more middle of the pack, I think, no matter how I kind of parse them. So, yeah, I don't know. This could be a really good proving ground game for this Dolphins offense to really show what they are. Because like I'm glad you robbed the Tua stats, because when you look at him on the field, it's like first, second, third, first, second, third, first, like just everything. So this is what we expected out of this offense anyways. I mean, not what they were the first 8-ish weeks. So